Well, that fog kind of burned off a little bit today, but it didn't fully go away, and now it's creating quite a view over the city.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, actually. It's nice and shallow downtown. Here's what we're talking about. This is a time lapse we recorded this evening, and you can watch it flowing.
Wow.
It's kind of a battle between the fog forming. Isn't that cool?
It really is.
Kind of a battle between the fog forming and the east wind developing, both of which are happening right now. Kind of fun, too, with the lights on the bridge down there. But the fog is really thick in other parts of town. Here's a live shot for you of that very same scene. And the fog hasn't really thickened up much over downtown. We haven't picked up an east wind yet. In fact, out at the airport, there's more fog there than there is here in the valley. Here's another look at the downtown fog. See how shallow it is? The building's standing up above it, but this is over the river level too, so kind of a neat view. Now, as I mentioned, the airport has thicker fog than we do. Visibility there only an eighth of a mile, and you look around the valley, quarter of a mile visibility, really common. Once the visibility drops below about a half a mile, that's when it really becomes problematic for driving. And you can see that's the case up and down I-5 right now. So it is going to slow you down, not only in Portland, in fact, less so in Portland, because that east wind is going to help to minimize our fog and really prevent it east of I-205, and eventually the whole area will get sunshine. But from Eugene clear up to Vancouver, BC, we've got dense fog advisories until noon tomorrow. Now, the east wind, here it is. It's not super strong, but it is developing. And we look elsewhere beside the gorge, and there's really no wind or just light and variable winds. But in the gorge itself, the gusts have been, fairly impressive so far. This is just tonight. Gusts of nearly 50 miles an hour Crown Point. But so far, those winds are confined to just the gorge. So our holiday travel weather concerns beginning with the fog tonight, tomorrow morning. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, it'll be more and more confined to areas away from Portland, south and west of downtown because of the wind. If you're traveling through the gorge, wind will be an issue. That's going to rock and roll and blow your rig around a bit. So be aware of that if you're driving through the gorge tomorrow. And then the snow arrives on Sunday. The passes are going to be really snowy. Now, I have to show you this again because one of the more beautiful sunsets we've seen, and we've had a lot of beautiful sunsets this month, but this one, just this big old blast of color right there at Cannon Beach. So I wanted to share that one with you. Okay, here's the 3-day forecast for you. We've got rain Friday, and I'm starting Friday because we've talked about tomorrow already. Saturday, not bad. That's the dry day in between. And then Sunday is when the rain becomes heavy and the snow becomes thick. Not only in the Cascades, but also the Coast Range and the Siskiyous to and from California will be very snowy Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday as we see a shift away from this warm, dry pattern we've been dealing with. Now, we're catching a few high clouds tonight, but really no big deal. This is the system coming in on Friday. Then Saturday night, that's when things begin to get a little more serious, and we suddenly begin to see a lot more blue, the snow, on the map here. And as we go through time, it's not just in the Cascades. All of eastern Oregon gets hammered with snow. We catch a break on Tuesday, and then as we go to the latter part of the week, watch what happens here. Suddenly we're seeing snow all the way through the lowlands here, except for the Willamette Valley in Portland. So we'll be dealing with and flirting with really low snow levels. Valley floor snow, I don't really see that happening just yet, but we're keeping an eye on it because there are some indications we could go into that kind of a pattern. So it'll be close, but I think it's mainly going to stay up in the hills. But here's what we do know for sure. We're going to shift to a cool, wet pattern, and this is great news for the mountains, which are going to see prodigious snowfall, like the order of feet over the next week to 10 days. 38 right now, so it's a chilly night out there and a chilly morning, but we'll stay above freezing. And then we'll get sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's really the gem of the week ahead. 57, 56 for a high, low 50s Friday and Saturday. And then we begin to see that cold rain and snow blow on in beginning Sunday, Britt.
All right, thanks so much, Matt.